No, no flash kits. Go fish. Wow! Welcome back to the Red Ones Go Fast. Old Big Mek here, and it's time for another episode of ORKTOBER. And in this one, we are indeed talking about sprues. Let's get into it. All right, this should be a good one, so slam yourself a red squig and hop into your seat, because we are indeed going to talk about sprues, specifically kit bashing and orks. And the whole reason why this came up is a couple of days ago, I did my updated video on the cheapest way to get to 1,000 points of orks for Warhammer 40k. And specifically that video, we talked about all the different kinds of ork vehicles and play styles and things like that, and kind of gave a little bit of everything, but a lot of it hinged on doing some very light kit bashing. And I have gotten a number of people that are just kind of like not really knowing what I'm talking about, and it made me realize that, hey, this might be new information to a whole lot of you, considering that according to my poll, at least, about 40% of you only started Warhammer 40k within the last edition. So these sprues are really ancient to you, even though you can still buy them brand new. So let's go over to the workbench so you can actually see what I'm talking about, and we will go over these sprues and why they make orks so good for kit bashing. Let's go.
And we're going to start with this. This is the Ork Boyz sprue. And by old, I mean this is the one that was sculpted and came out somewhere around 3rd edition and has been updated a little bit since then, but is still sold brand new. This is the one that the box on the front says that it comes with 11 miniatures. Now, if you look here, this is half the sprue. This has your regular Ork Boyz on it. You can see 5 torsos right here, as well as your 5 sets of legs. And you'll see that they are entirely compatible with one another. The legs have this cup socket, and the bodies have this ball socket, and you glue the body into the legs, and you can kind of pose it however you want from there. You'll also notice that the bodies are completely flat on each side at the shoulder, and so are all of the arms. This is what makes all of these interchangeable. That's why you have a whole bunch of shootas and a whole bunch of sluggas and choppas. Either way, you can make it work because you are gluing right onto this flat surface. That's what makes these guys so good for making kind of whatever you want. Now, if we spin this around to the other half of the sprue, you will see the 11th guy and some other things that we will talk about here. First of all, you get a knob. So there's a couple of bodies here. You can build them as a regular one or as a knob. He does only have a regular set of legs, although you'll notice he does have a little loincloth, although one of the regular legs does too. But you have your heavy weapons backpacks. This is for the rocket launcher. This one is for the big shooter. And you have your heavy weapons. Here's your big shooter. There is your rocket launcher, as well as the options for your knob, such as a power claw, your couple of boss poles. You've got a tank bomb here for blowing up tanks, and then a couple other accessories and things like that, some alternative heads, some stick bombs, some scopes and whatnot. And then the stick bomber backpack, stick bomber hand, and the tank buster tank bomb, as well as your big choppa. So this is kind of everything you need to build an old school boys squad with a knob. Now, when you buy this boys squad box, you're going to end up with 2 of these sprues to make your 10 boys, and 1 of this one that has the knob and the heavy weapons on it. And this sprue right here actually has a really important part on it, which is this arm right here. And we'll come back to that one. But first, let's grab a new sprue. All right, slot that one in here. And what we have here is a Lootas/Burna Boy sprue. So these are, when you buy the Lootas box, it comes with everything you see here to make both Lootas and Burnas. And we're going to talk about that and how it interacts with the regular boy kit. First of all, you see here, these are the exact same legs and the exact same bodies that you get in the regular boy set. So when I say that you need to buy the regular boys to make more Lootas and Burnas, there's no real kit bashing. They are literally the exact same pieces when it comes to the basic body. And you'll see the arms here have the exact same attachment points, being totally flat onto the body. So these arms will go on any old school boy body, and you know the body's all interchanged and the legs all interchanged, so it's super, super easy. You'll see here you get 5 of the legs, 5 of the bodies, and then some of your heavy weapons. You get the backpack here that goes with one of the Luta guns, and then you get the custom Mega Blasta the wrench backpack and whatnot for the Spanaboy, one of the rocket launches, and one of the big shooters. Now here's where things get interesting and where people get a little upset. You see this arm right here is for the custom Mega Blasta. What is missing for these two items? That's right, the other arm for them. For that, you need to go back to our old boys sprue and get this arm right here. That is the arm that is designed for either the rocket launcher or the big shooter. And hey, if you notice, those two rocket launches are literally identical. And these two big shooters, get it up over here, also pretty much identical. This one's got a different design element on it, but the actual arm pose is exactly the same. So yes, this is the arm you need in order to use the big shooter or the rocket launcher from the kit. Now, you'll notice that you do get an extra arm here for holding a gun, and that the big shooter arm does not have a hand molded into it, whereas the rocket launcher one does. So this is actually the arm for the big shooter, and this is actually the arm for the rocket launcher, which means same thing on here. You can use any old hand to hold the big shooter because there is no arm on it, and you just need that special arm for this one. However, if you are a cunning Big Mek, you can totally take one of your spare shooter boy arms, such as this one right here, chop the hand off, and make it work. All right, the rest of the sprue with the Lootas and Burnas, you got here, these are the snaz guns. These is the Loota part of it. These are all the guns that you need to make the Loota boys, along with their crazy backpacks and harnesses and whatnot. And so you get this sprue in with the Loota boys. You also, however, get this sprue. This is the Burna Boy sprue that comes in that same kit. You can see you've got your backpacks here, you've got your Burnas there, your other backpack pieces, and your arms for your Burnas. So originally the idea was this sprue would come in the box for Burna Boys, this sprue would come in the box for Loota Boys, and this sprue would come in both boxes. Except for whatever reason, they ended up not doing that, and you get all three, which is why I say buying the Loota box is such a good deal, because you actually get two whole squads in it. You get the Lootas and you get the Burnas. All you have to do is get 5 more bodies from the regular old boys kit. Now, before we move on, I do want to show off something. This is the new boy kit sprue. You can see there are actually quite a few boys missing from it. I don't have a whole one of these sprues unbuilt because, frankly, I don't want any more of these boys, and I'll show you why. These are the newer ones. This is the box that is more expensive, that only comes with 10. And you'll notice they are not modular. You flip this over, they are push to fit, and none of the pieces are the same. Now, I have made a whole video about kit bashing these guys, which I will put somewhere around there or there that you can watch, but essentially you have to glue them together first and then chop them up in order to convert them. And just, you know, it's not everybody's cup of tea, including mine, so I only want to play with so many of them. But these are not compatible with the older boys at all. They really kind of lock you in, and that's why this kit has been kind of not very popular and why the old kit is still sold today. All right, the last older sprue we're going to look at is actually the Warbikes. So this is the Warbiker sprue. When you buy this box, you get this sprue. There are 3 bikes. You get one here, and one on this side, as well as your different weapon options and your rider's legs. Now you'll notice they have the exact same socket to hold the bodies, but the legs are different so that they can ride on the saddle. Your arms also have the exact same attachment point, being totally flat. They are just designed to actually ride the bikes. Now, a really interesting thing about these, you'll notice all of the arms are holding handles, but you'll also notice on this sprue here, the handles all have handles on them. What you have to do is glue the whole bike together with the handles, and then when you figure out your rider, you figure out if they are riding with one hand or both hands, and you actually cut the handlebars off of your bike and then glue these on in order to get it to all work. There's also another kind of tricky part about these. You see the guns here, they're big shooters. You've got 2 double barrel ones and 2 single barrel ones. The double barrel ones you only take one of, and they go with these kind of weird crossover pieces, and you'll get a an ammo crate for the other side. In fact, that is on the other sprue right here. You'll use either the ammo crate or the ammo drum on the other side of this crossbar piece. So 2 of the bikes will have a single big gun, and then 1 bike will have the double small gun. It's the same loadout either way. You just don't want to build a bike with both heavy guns, because then your other ones are going to have 1 little gun each, or you'll end up using 2 big guns, 2 little guns, and then have 2 ammo cans, which is kind of orky and funny, but might not be what you intend to do. The other thing you want to watch out for is whichever side the gun is on is going to possibly mess with whichever side the exhaust is on. I've messed this up a couple of times and had to put some Bosozoku pipes on my bikes, so definitely watch out for that when you're putting them together before you actually glue anything. But yeah, another thing to notice on here, here's your riders, and look, the exact same ball socket assembly. So the cool biker uniform there can be taken off and used in one of the regular boys. The regular boys can go and be used here in the bikers. And then you've got some cool different choppas here. You can have a pipe with some spikes on it. You can have a bludgeon. You can have a chain. And those you can put on your regular boys if you so choose.
All right, that's been the look at the sprues. Tell me, was that actually helpful for you, especially you newer players that might not own these kits yet or understand how they go together? So when I talk about buying the Lootas kit, buying the old boys, does it help like make a little bit more sense now on come together? Kit bashers, does it help you to see the different ways that the kits work together? Because I have a whole bunch of sprues we could pull out and look at, and we can look at, you know, the truck and all the different buggies and whatnot, and it can help give you an idea of how the kits go together and what kind of pieces and parts actually interchange. So if you want some more of that, or you liked what you saw, definitely let me know down in the comments below. All right, that's going to do it for this episode, because I've got to get to work on a whole nother video for another day of Orktober, which is tomorrow, because old Big Mek is doing a brand new one every single day of the month. And so far, we've had a lot of fun. We've put a lot of paint on our 1,500 points of Beast Snaga armies. We have talked about the best way to buy and get into orcs. We have built some kind of zany things in between paint pot killicans and t-shirt cannon equipped red squig buggies, and there's a lot more to come. So if you don't want to miss any of that, make sure you're subscribed and stay tuned every single day the rest of Orktober long. Until then, walk on!